Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you've had a really, really great week. I hope that each and every one of you are well. Sorry about this horrible lighting. I feel like this lighting is really bad in this hotel room. But I am actually in New Orleans today. I do reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. For those of you who have been here on Mental Health Moment for many years, just certain spans of time, I am somewhere or another. Like last week when I was in the airport. But hi, and thanks for those who are starting to join here. Let me know where you're tuning in from today in the chat. Again, I'm in New Orleans today. I'm actually on a youth service trip for an organization for a nonprofit called the Ryan Neese Foundation with some absolutely amazing 11th, finishing 11th grade, going into 12th grade high schoolers. And thus far, it's been great. We're on day one of this experience for them. Before I get started today on Mental Health Moment, I do want to remind each and every one of you that my new book, I'm so excited. Well, my new book, Mindset Training, Conquer Your Mind and the Rest Will Follow, is available for pre-order. It's at mindsettrainingbook.com. If you pre-order it, it is available for purchase in September. But if you pre-order it from now, then you get a lot of goodies and a lot of bonuses with it. So I definitely want you to pre-order the book. But it's really pretty much a roadmap into how do you take care of yourself, which if you've been rocking with Mental Health Moment for these last couple years here, you know that that's all we talk about every single week. Like how can you grow as a person? How can you show up more powerfully for yourself and for those around you? That's what Mental Health Moment has always been about. And that's what this book is about too. So I pretty much, I divided it into a couple different sections, and it's like physically, how do you grow? Emotionally, how do you grow mentally and spiritually? Because a lot of times some of us may be very one-sided in our approach of how we can take care of ourselves. But really it takes a holistic approach. So if you're like right now, like, okay, I need to lose weight, it's not a bad thing. That's a physical goal, right? It's not a bad thing, but if that's the only thing you're thinking about and you haven't thought about, well, how can I grow spiritually, or how can I grow mentally, or how can I grow emotionally? Like those are other areas of your life too. So it's really important to put all of the pieces together. But again, so it's mindsettrainingbook.com is where you can find more information and pre-order the book. And please share it with your family and friends because I'm super excited about this one. It's my fourth book actually, but this one, I love all my books, but this one I'm really, really excited about because really it boils down to your mindset, frankly. In my personal and professional journey, as many of you that are tuning into Mental Health Moment or have been tuning into Mental Health Moment for many years here, I've been a psychologist now. This is my 15th year, which is crazy. And of all the stories I've heard, there's a lot of resilience. You're a lot stronger than you know. And it really, really boils down to your mindset. So I put all those tools and all those practical strategies into the book. So definitely check it out. I wanted to remind you today of gratitude and how important it is, and how to and make sure that you remember to try to get into that space. So let me give you an example. I will be very honest with you. I know I teach Mental Health Moment to you all each week. I have spoken to many organizations now about burnout prevention and stress management, and all those things are important. And I stand by what I teach and preach, right? But this past week was so hectic, crazy. I think there was a point, I don't even know, I think I lost count of the amount of cities I was in over the course of a week. It was very busy, like a very hectic week. And what I found at the end of the week was literally my body, because as I teach you all on Mental Health Moment, you have to be aware of your body as well. So it's helpful to check in with yourself. How am I doing? What do I need? And what steps do I need to take? But also, what do you need sometimes comes in the physical form as well. So checking in physically with how you're feeling. So after this crazy last week, I was in all these different cities over a week. What happened was when I tuned in and I was checking in internally in my body, I noticed I was very ramped up, right? So many of you probably have heard before of like a fight or flight. When you get in that mode, if a bear is chasing you and you're running for your life, you will be in flight mode, right? Like your adrenaline's up, you're running, you're scared, you're heightened. And that is an appropriate response if you're running from a bear. But the problem we have sometimes for many of us, and again, I caught myself with this a couple days ago, is when we get stressed out or we're really busy, we're really overwhelmed, what happens is we like increase this level of fill in the blank, adrenaline, like cortisol, like all these hormones, all these chemicals get released in our bodies when we're so stressed out. And so what happened was when I recognized that, I was like, man, I feel really kind of amped up because it was like, you got to do this, you got to do this. I had all these projects and there's deadlines. I'm publishing this book, which is a whole nother project. Like a lot happened within a 1 week span. Just flights were delayed. And for those of you who are on my Instagram stories, because I always put it on there, but being delayed multiple times and all these things were happening, right? But the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I recognize, like, hey, I'm feeling so heightened that let me work on taking my body down to get back into a calm place, and also thinking about what am I grateful for, right? Because it's very easy, you all. It's easy for you to get caught up in the day to day, in the hustle bustle, and your to do list, and what happened yesterday, what's going to happen tomorrow. Like it's easy to get caught up with that. But if you work on getting to your place, now we get to our places of calm and gratitude in different ways. So for me, when I got to that place of like, okay, I know I'm overwhelmed, my body is just ramped up, just very overstressed. It was like Epsom salt bath. If you love Epsom salt bath, be sure to do that. But for me, it was like Epsom salt bath. Okay, the light just went out. Um, and making sure to have some downtime. Sometimes for me, it's music. When I took the Epsom salt bath, I was like, I don't even want music. I need some quiet. I need some calm because I was physically working on taking my body back to a calmer place, right? So I encourage you to think about that today. Like, how do you work on taking your body and mind back to the calmer place, back to a place of gratitude? I I also want to put an asterisk on this because I know a lot of times I feel like I'm talking in the dark, you guys. I'm sorry. The light just went out that I'm trying to use so you can actually see me. Okay. But I feel like a lot of times when we're really stressed out, it can be hard. I totally get that. It can be hard to be like, I am grateful for something because you're stressed out, right? Or you're in a place of darkness, or you're in a hard season. Like I really totally get that. But the more that you can work on finding the place of gratitude, no matter where you're at in life, if you're having the best day of your life, it's easier, obviously, to have gratitude for that experience. But even on your hardest days, on the dark days, on the I don't feel like doing this days, on the I feel like giving up on my goals, or wherever you're at mentally and emotionally, when you work on clinging to something that you are grateful for and taking working on taking your body to a calmer place, you can really start to shift your mindset that way. You really can, and that's some of the things I talked about in the book about gratitude. But it's so much more powerful than you know. Now, what I told you all before, when I did the Epsom bath and I, tried my best to get to a calm place, like physically, because anyways, I was starting to get like a stress call. Like all these things were happening because it was a very hectic week, flying in and out of cities, driving to different places. It was hectic. But I do want to remind you that when you get into that place, though, that mental place, right, of gratitude, when you physically allow your body to reset, sometimes, and maybe this has happened to some of you, sometimes we're so stressed out, we don't even know how stressed out we are. And then once we take a break and your body rests, you're like, dang, like I didn't even know I was that stressed out. Right. So sometimes that happens. But sometimes you can be intentional about it if you're checking in with yourself. That's what I wanted to remind you all of today, is to make sure that you're saving a place in your life for gratitude, even on the hardest times. The more that you practice having gratitude. So for me, I have a daily practice. Some of you already know. I have a daily practice in the mornings, and I do apologize. It's getting so dark. Let me try to move the screen up some. But I do have a daily practice in the morning. I mean, actually have gratitude all throughout the day, but specifically making sure that I start my day with gratitude. But whatever that gratitude practice looks like for you, I really strongly encourage you to cling to that even in the hardest times. The more you practice that, it is a mindset reset. So the more you practice that, it will become common, like um, it will become more familiar to you. So I know for some of you, you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm too lost, like this is too difficult. You start with the baby steps then, right? You start with one thing, like what is one thing you're grateful for? And working on how can you put that into place each day. So that's my tip for you today. I am going to be heading now to dinner with this amazing group of our youth. But I wanted to jump on, make sure I jumped on and shared that with you all because that was on my heart to share that. And also to be transparent and just say, you know what, even though I teach burnout prevention and I'm on here doing mental health moment every single week, that there's hard weeks too. Right. So let's be honest with ourselves. Like there's weeks that we're like, yeah, we're tough, we're strong, which is great. And there's weeks you can be like, you know what, Dr. Hammond, I am overwhelmed. I'm stressed out. Like there's a lot going on, like my past week. Very, very, very overwhelming week. But nonetheless, work on resetting, work on recharging, make sure you have that gratitude that you need in your life. You can always reach me on my website, drnekeshiahammond.com. Or you can, let me see if I can find the banner here. Here we go. drnekeshiahammond.com if you need me, or you can also reach out on social media. So dr.hammond on Instagram or LinkedIn, Dr. Nekeshia Hammond, Facebook, Twitter, which is now called X. But any of those platforms, more than happy to connect with you. And let me put back the information about the book here. But again, thank you for your comments. Thank you for tuning in, not for me, but for you. Thank you for working on yourself. Thank you for working to make yourself your number one priority. That is my personal mission, personal and professional mission, is to make sure that I share this message, frankly, and work on allowing people to become their number one priority in their life. So I hope that occurs for you as well. Again, the book is mindsettrainingbook.com to pre-order. Have an amazing week. Be blessed, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.